In this video, we're going to look at documenting steps. So, steps are the individual actions that go into completing a task. So as we've mentioned previously, steps are the lowest level of detail. And if we go up the hierarchy, the next level of detail of that is task. So there are many steps within a task. And then there are many tasks within a process. And then there are many processes within a process map. So the task is the lowest level of detail and it's focused on a very small area of the process. So when capturing steps, it's also useful to document the resources used and any constraints or requirements that apply to the steps. And steps should be documented as a sequential list of actions. So when we're documenting tasks in a process diagram or an activity diagram, we have the swim flows that show the different roles. But as a task is only completed by one person at one time in one place, we don't need the swim lanes because there's only one actor and it's all that taking place at one point in time, so we don't need to show a flow. So we'll just have a set of sequential steps. And here's an example of what the documentation for steps may look like. So we just used a simple table. We've identified the step, any resource it uses, the resource type that it's using, whether there's a supplier for any of those resources, and any constraints that are in place. So we can see there we've done identify suitable vehicle as the first step for the prepare car task. So we've looked for the constraint there is matches vehicle type booked by customer. So we've looked for the suitable vehicle that matches a vehicle type. The next step is we'll look at that vehicle and assess it for damage. Now this is an important task because we need to know what damage already exists on the vehicle so that we're not charging the customer for it when we assess it for damage when it comes back. So the next step, because remember we're looking at real detail here, so we've looked at the vehicle for damage, we need to document any vehicle damage. Now we use a resource here because we're using the damage form, and the resource type is an input, so it's an input into the step. The supplier of the resource is the stationary cupboard. So the next step is we clean the vehicle. And again we've got a resource there, so we've got soap, water and a sponge. And the different resource types there, so soap and water are an input, whereas a sponge is an enabler. And the difference there is that obviously soap and water disappear with the process. You know, we're not going to get those back. Whereas a sponge is an enabler, so it enables the process. It enables you to apply that soap and water to clean the vehicle, but it doesn't disappear with the process. So it's more of a tool than a resource. And again, we've got different suppliers there. So we've got the cleaning cupboard is where we get our soap and our sponge, and the water comes straight from the tap. So step 5 is to fill the vehicle with fuel. Again, we've got a resource there, which is the fuel. It's an input, and the supplier is the garage pump. And we've got a constraint on this one as well. Fuel type must match the vehicle. And then lastly, we've got the step of park the car at the customer collection point. And the car is all well prepared and ready to go for the customer to collect it. Now obviously this is a very simple process just used for illustration purposes, and the actual steps undertaken in a real car hire company where they're preparing cars might be different, but it serves the purpose of showing you how you could document steps for a task. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.